to something even more philosophical. Okay, markup in the most kind of, I would say, intellectual sense is all about context. It's all about saying what this thing is, who's its parentage, and how should I look at it? How should I interpret it? What should I see it as? So here's a piece of markup. Excuse me. Here's a piece of text. No markup. Right? Just you interpret it however you interpret it. The sky is falling. Let me add a little markup to it. Now I've added some nuance to this. I've added some context to it. I've added some perspective to it. And what would you say I've added? First of all, what is this I tag in common parlance? Italics, right? So in effect, I've italicized the word sky. The sky is falling. How is that different in meaning, semantically? How is that different than this one up here? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And so what does that mean? Give me a different interpretation of sentence 2 versus sentence 1. Excuse me, you're panicking?
You're desperate. It's like a desperate statement.
I might have put the I between the whole thing if I was panicking. The sky is falling. But instead, I'm focusing on this word and saying the sky is falling. Go ahead.
It means that something else could be falling, but in this instance, it's the sky.
Exactly. That's what I intend by marking this up this way. I intend to subtly change the meaning of the sentence to say, focus on the sky. It's not the clouds that are falling. It's not the airplane that's falling. It's the sky that's falling. Similarly, I can use a piece of markup and say this. The sky is falling. Now what have I said? Now what's the difference between this one, and that one?
Revising the sentence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm now focusing your attention on this part of the sentence and saying the sky is falling. The sky isn't rising. The sky isn't staying the same. The sky is falling. And I've emphasized this word in order to put nuance into this sentence. So this markup has semantically altered this text by focusing on this word. Now let's look at some more alterations. Those are subtle alterations. I can do something more specific. So for example, I have this markup. Now what does this markup say about the sentence? And how I should interpret the sentence and what this sentence means to me or why I should care. Now what's my perspective? Go ahead, Sam.
It's sort of added a sense of meaning to it. It's defined what is a noun and what is a verb about the sentence.
Okay, so now I'm a grammarian, right? Or I'm a linguist or something like that. And I could care less about whether the sky is falling or rising. I'm parsing this sentence, and I'm saying this sentence contains a noun phrase and a verb phrase. And now I have a completely different perspective, right? The difference between this and this is intense. This is kind of clinical, right? This is like some scientist looking at the sentence and pulling it apart. And this is, who is it? Henny Penny, running around saying the sky is falling. So I've really altered things a lot, and I've said the context of the sky is falling here is this context. It's a context, it's a linguistic context. It's a context of sentence parsing. Okay, and where might I use something like this? By the way, what might be the usefulness of this?
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. 2 points for that. I like that answer. Mad Libs, yeah, right?
But
I might say you can fill in the noun phrase with whatever you want in Mad Libs. Yeah.
But in all seriousness, actually, we used something kind of like that when we made the Mad Libs exercise from JavaScript in D.A. Clemens' class.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. More particularly, I might be in some sort of language processing program, right? I might be trying to take apart, for example, your word processing document in order to put little wavy green lines under it and realize that this isn't a sentence, this is a fragment, because it's missing something in this place. Okay, so there's reasons why you might mark something up this way. Okay, let's keep going.
Just so you know, there's a typo in there too.
And it's going to crash.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
and
sentence. Sentence. Your end.
Sentence.
Yeah, a sentence. Also,
This is with a decided New York accent. We totally say sentence. We don't say sentence, we say sentence.
Bob, you also didn't close the verb
Sentence.
phrase.
Oh, okay, yeah, you guys are finding them all over the place. You're right, you're right. That's why I need a parser to parse my own slides. Good. All right, all of those are valid. Those are all 1-pointers for typos. Good. You can't believe how long the slide has been in action, however, with all those typos. And yeah, the title tag seems to be missing the.
Oh, nice. Good work.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Go back, I want to show you. I thought it was in the next transition. Good. All right, those are all problems. So, barring those problems, we have this one. Now what am I looking at? Now what am I saying about this? Now what's my context? Now what's the semantic balance of this sentence? Huh?
You have put an identifier for the word string.
Okay. What in general am I saying about the sentence now? This sentence is a title, right? I've marked it as the title of the book or whatever. This is the book. It's The Sky Has Fallen. And then inside I've marked this particular word sky as a what? Keyword. Right? So I might come along later and collect up all my keywords and say, here's a keyword list for this book. And one of the keywords is sky. And if I want to get back to it, I have a little identifier here so I know exactly which instance of this word I have. Okay, so this is more in terms of what we're going to see in this class. These are the kinds of things we're going to mark things up with. Okay, so now the final and kind of most telling semantic markup is this one. What have I done to the meaning of this sentence by marking it with this particular tag?
Told us it's untrue.
I've in fact reversed its meaning from the sky is falling to the sky is not falling. I put this on here to show you exactly how much markup can change the meaning of a sentence. It in fact has completely negated the sentence. There's nothing there's no bigger change you can do to something than to make it its opposite. And now all I've done is wrap it in a little tag and I've changed something into its opposite. So markup is context. And this, I wish we could just spend the entire quarter on this perspective. This is the most philosophical perspective. This is the most, to me, kind of intense and interesting perspective of markup. But it's about as far as we're going to go with that. I just want to show you that markup is really, it's got something going on. It's got a lot to it.